Okay, we're back for part 2 of the Iceland Railway Tycoon scenario. And I've just had a bit of a think, and I'm thinking, since we're currently paying out 860,000, 880,000 in interest, why don't I refinance as many of these loans as I possibly can at 8%. So if I get rid of this one, and this one, and this one, then it just saves us a bit on interest, and that way the company actually makes a tiny bit more profit at not much of a cost to us. Yeah, it doesn't let us do that, so. So we did have $8 million worth of bonds originally. And that way we can get them at like 7 and 8%. And it's just, we also don't have to worry about having to pay them off because okay, I mean the scenario ends in 1990 anyway, so we won't have to pay them off anyway, so that's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, it just saves us that tiny bit more in interest, even if it's only like 300,000 a year. 300,000 a year is still a nice bit to have. And I can actually get these for like 7%, so. And it's only cost us. Well, we've got 16 loans, so it's cost us 160,000 initially. But we've decreased the average interest rate to 7.1%, whereas previously it was like 11.1%. So that's 4% interest saved. That's $320,000 a year just on interest saved at the cost of 160,000. So I think that's worth it. And that's something I don't normally do, is actually take out bonds at a lower interest rate to save money. Maybe I should do that more often. Right, I've just been thinking though. All our track, I think, is good. But I don't think it's actually worthwhile connecting Kirkjubø-Jark-Laustur to Herfen, because in Herfen, and it's going to be a long way to get there, quite a bit longer from Kirk to Vik, as you can see, because we have to, and it's flat round here, but then you have to, yeah, I mean it's flat round here, but then there's like a few hills here and there, especially around here. It's going to be a lot of money, and Herfen itself doesn't actually have a lot. It's got a brewery that's not making anything. And it's got a profitable port, but it's exactly the same as all the ports that we've already got, like around here anyway. So it's kind of just a lot more effort than it's worth, and then actually getting to Djúpivogur, okay, it's difficult wherever you go, but I'm just kind of thinking, we've still got 20 years. We still need like 13,700 and something loads. Still need a lot more in personal net worth. But why not go north, round here, and I haven't figured out a route yet, but something along the lines of like up here, and then round to here, and then the long way round, where it'll be a lot flatter. Like, okay, Borgans to Bordieri is not a nice route, but then, I mean, I'm just thinking, because Yes, we have to connect to Djúpivogur. That is an essential requirement, because that is the only requirement for bronze. So we have to do that. But we don't have to do it immediately. So why don't we save up and try and build from like Reykjavik to Akranes, potentially. There's not really a whole lot in Akranes, so we could even skip it altogether. So do then like Reykjavik to Borgans. And I mean, if we actually did like not electrified track, it'd be a bit cheaper. I mean, I don't think we've got enough money. I'm just having to think about routing. Obviously avoid the hills, but also avoid the glaciers. Yeah, I mean, okay, so we're not going to have enough money to do this. But I mean, it is largely flat around here. The terrain is nice, and we are avoiding the glacier. I don't actually know like where that glacier starts. Is it just a purely white terrain, or is it the grey bit as well? Okay, so we're going to need... Obviously this isn't the route we're going to take, but we're going to need like an extra $1 million or so dollars. And that's not electrified either, so... Wait until we've got about $2.5 million. How are we doing for... Yeah, we got nice dividends. So let's just wait for trains to make some money. How are we actually doing for industry as well? Upgraded. Yeah, so we actually only in terms of not hotels and restaurants, etc., we only own 2 textile mills, so it's not a whole lot we own in the way of industry. But industry profit isn't a goal. Industry is sort of just a way to make money. It's not a goal in and of itself. For this particular scenario, at least. I mean, I can even... There's not really much point. Yeah, we'd be saving ourselves $8,000 a year. Yeah, it's not worth it. I was just thinking we could even get rid of these 2, which would cost us $20,000, and then we would save $8,000 a year. So it's not worth it, really. Because it would take like 3 years for it to be worthwhile. In an economic boom, it might be worthwhile replacing them. But even then, we would only save... Oh, okay, the Class 103 is now available. That is nice. It is very expensive, though, at the same time. I don't quite know what just happened there, because we had, like, 1 and a bit million, and then we just... Okay, the money's starting to roll in now. Is there anything in Stockseyri? There's a plastics thing, but it's not profitable. Right. I mean, in terms of diesels, there's the Deltic, which is expensive to buy. It's better than the FP45. The V200. The Deltic is fast, though. FP45 is faster on flat land. Actually, FP45 is just generally faster. It's also a bit more expensive and debatably worse. No, I think the Class 103 is worth it. It's just expensive. But, if you're going to go diesel, then the Deltic is possibly the way to go. Now, I don't think we've got enough money to get to Borgines. Do we have enough money to get to Akranes? And even if we did, should we? I don't think we should, really. It might be more effort than it's worth. Maybe later on. Also, there's actually a weird looking hill there, which I find a bit strange. It's also just like a dip in the terrain. So, this is all largely flat anyway. which is good because it's cheaper and faster to build on flat land. I like how it's just random sheep farms lying around here and there. So Ball James is just there. So I haven't yet decided on a route, so I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this. So this is just thinking at the moment. It's not permanent. It might get deleted. So a wooden bridge coming across here. Okay, we need a bit more cash. But the route itself is actually okay. It's long, but it's fairly flat. Just need a bit more money. How much more money is the question? Okay, so we need about another 100,000 for the track, and then how much would it cost to electrify? Yeah, it's actually a lot to electrify. I don't know how much it costs for electrified track in relation to how much it would cost for. Oh, I got rid of the dividend. That's not nice. Just regular track. So, like, if a regular piece of track is like 1 million, I don't know how much it would be for the same track but electrified. Bourget is actually a fairly big town, although not really. It's just very spread out. There is a port here, but it's the same port as every other port. So I mean, yeah, the only real point you'd ever connect to Acranes is because there's a port and there's some houses. Okay, there's also a bakery that demands grain, but it is quite difficult to get to unless, I was going to say, unless I could build. Unless I could build like a steel bridge or something. Because I've read that you can build over. There is sort of a trick or an exploit or a glitch or whatever you want to call it, whereby you can sometimes get away with building a steel bridge or iron bridge as opposed to a suspension bridge. But I don't know exactly how it works. I think it's over like certain bits of water, and it might just be a bit of luck and randomness. Anyway, so large station in Bourgains. There's not a whole lot here. Some cheese, which is incredibly profitable. Holy hell. Wow. Cheese and milk. So I mean, the longest and most profitable train would actually be hauling it to Kirk. But obviously that's such a long way that we might as well just haul it to Reykjavik. Or actually we could even go Keflavik. Although there are people who want to go from Reykjavik to Bourgains itself. There's also actually like grain that we could ship. We could even go Kopavoger. Or Reykjavik. I don't know, I'll think about it. But obviously also we're going to need maintenance and well, we've got maintenance and service just outside of Reykjavik, but we're going to need like a service tower here, and then probably another service tower here, and then like the maintenance station over there. Plus money for a train. Oops. Okay. So pleased with us, but the salary remains the same. We actually did okay though last year in terms of profit, but the dividend is gone. Not ideal. Let's take out another bond. Just get the how much is it to electrify? Yeah, 728,000. Phew. So the options. Deltic is actually better overall. It's not as fast as the FP45. The V200 is actually better overall, but it's slower. And it's a lot more expensive. F3... F3 is good, actually. It's slightly more to maintain. Okay, it's 1,000 a year more. But it is slower by quite a lot. Passengers like it more, but we're not really dealing with passengers, so... Let's go Borjanes to Reykjavik. And then it's hauling cheese, livestock, cheese and oil, and that's making a fair chunk of cash. And that is a fast train. Economy's slowing, so it's a good thing we got those bonds when we could, because they're now like 9%. Or 8% if we if we got rid of bonds, increased our credit rating, and then bought them back that way, like we were doing. Yeah, so this seems okay for like maintenance and whatnot. I'm not going to buy any shares because we still actually own a third of the company. And if we went up to say a half or like 40% of the company, then we might have issues. Oh, growing prosperity, that's nice. So let's put the dividend back up to like 1 million or something. Yeah, there we go. And what's it hauling on the way back? It's hauling clothes, mail, passengers, alcohol, and coffee. And we could even start working our way up to, well, Sticky Stolmer doesn't exactly have a lot going for it. Olafsvik doesn't really have a lot going for it either. So why don't we? Green is so cheap here. Could even build like a brewery in here. Build a brewery, or maybe in Borjanes. But then, if we did do that, there'd be nowhere to ship the alcohol to, because alcohol is actually really expensive in Borjanes. That's kind of annoying. Oh well. So, right. Let's actually just stick with non-electrified track and stick with Deltics, because the Deltic is actually a good train, and then try to get to Bordeiri, where there is a very profitable brewery, an unprofitable plastics house, or plastics factory, and a profitable textile mill. Vamstang. There's a port again doing the same thing. There is an electric plant that is taking the oil from the port, but it's not profitable in itself. But yeah, we definitely want to go to Bordeiri. So let's just have a little offshoot like this. I don't want to build through the farm. I kind of want to build through this mountain pass if possible. Where actually is... I know I've said this many times before, but having a grid makes it so much easier to build track. And the high trees... Okay, there are basically no trees in this map. It just makes it so much easier for building track because you can actually see how the terrain changes, and you don't get that in the default options because, as I said before, like you look at a mountain and you don't notice sort of little valleys and flat areas as easily as you would do with the grid turned on. Okay, we're going to need about 600,000 to do that. Right, so that is flat round there. So this is all flat. Right, now we're out of money. We need about 250,000 more for track, and then we're going to need a large station. So about 500,000 more. So I could take out a bond. I'm going to do that. Okay, I did that a bit wrong. And the question is I think possibly then build an offshoot. Yeah, because that's nasty. And then build something like that to I can't pronounce HVAM, like Fram. Unless it's just a silent H. Vamstang? Vamstang? I don't know. Oops, didn't mean to delete that. And then a large station, and we've run out of money. Shitload of wool and clothes. Milk. And grain. So, definitely want to train between Bourgains and Bordieri. Again, it will be a Deltic. Do need more money though. How much is this train? It's 400,000, so let's get a Deltic. Annoyingly, there is a train there already, so let's actually start in Bordieri. And there you go, it's hauling a load of clothes and it's very profitable. And they've reduced the dividend even more because we've run out of money. But the company is still profitable, which is good. Salary remains the same, but they're still pleased with us, so that's good. Share price is still $90 though. Dividend does actually help with the share price as well. But it says it can help increase it, so. So I just think this is going to be more profitable overall. I don't know if it's a good idea to buy back stock. Because okay, it does increase the share price, and it increases our... it decreases the total number of shares available in the company, and therefore increases our proportion of shares owned. Because once we buy back stock, we still have 48,000 shares, even if there's... well, rather than there being like 144,000... Let's say there's 100,000, then we own 48% of the company, or make it even easier, 96,000, then we own half the company. But we'd still be paying ourselves the same in dividends, so I don't know if that would actually... I don't know. Buying back stock is a good idea for increasing the share price. But actually for increasing your net worth, I'm not sure. But then again, I'm fairly newbie at... net worth, which is why I don't generally enjoy them. It's an interesting concept, but I feel like net worth should be a means to an end rather than the end in and of itself. So I don't like it as being an objective, but I do like manipulating the stock market in order to be able to do things like buy out rival AI companies, of which there are none on this map. So, anyway, so, Vramstang to Bourgains, again, looks like it's going to be fairly profitable. I'm actually going to build like a maintenance and service just outside, or just around this junction. And that way it will sort of service both of those trains. So just wait a bit and we'll suspend the dividend again. So I mean, some of these trains are making a hell of a lot of money. But obviously at the same time they are going quite long distance, like Vic to Reykjavik. Okay, new train available. That is actually a really good train. it's expensive to maintain, but it's not as good as like the E18. The E18 is just like glorious, but that is actually a good train. Because I mean, if you compare it to the Deltic, it's got a lower top speed, but it's actually faster once you consider hills and pulling. It's less acceleration, it's cheaper to buy and more to maintain, but it's got slightly better stats, but obviously we're going diesel along this route, so Famstang to Borgiens. I mean, all these trains are necessary as well because we do need the 15,000 loads goal. And if we look at the haulage, last year we hauled 211 loads, which is actually the same as 1970. Bit odd. So yeah, the money is actually like starting to massively increase now. So we need more dividend. Again, put it at about 1 million. There we go. Let's just keep increasing it as much as it'll go. So, next stop, probably Blonjos and Skagastrond. I mean, we could... no, the terrain is actually really nasty. I was going to say we could connect to Holmavik, but the terrain is awful. And then these towns, Bildu Dalu, there's nothing there. The thing is you've got to consider in this game, and not just this scenario, yes, I could connect to a town, but is it worth it once you consider the cost of getting there, the cost of station, track, fuel, and maintenance of trains and whatnot, against the actual profit, potentially, of connecting there. I also have basically no idea how you're even meant to connect to these two little places, Isafjordur and Bolungavik. It seems very difficult to connect to them because they're just surrounded by hills and mountains and whatnot. So, yeah, there is that. Saying that, connecting from Skagastrond to Sauderkirkir, not going to be easy. However, keeping with the diesel theme, let us go and connect to the next destination, which is Blonduos, or how you pronounce it. No, we don't want a steel bridge, we want wooden bridge. Can I get all the way? No, I need a large station. Okay. That'll probably be okay for maintenance and service. So there's meat, livestock in. There's a hell of a lot of livestock in Reykjavik, but it only. No, Borgens again. Borgens seems to be a really nice city in that regard because it's. There's a good sort of price differential. And it can serve as a sort of hub. Saying that, I was going to build like a hotel in Borgens, but there aren't really many passengers, so I don't know if it'd be worth it. This brewery's just appeared. Don't know if that's going to make any money though, because as I said, alcohol isn't really profitable to ship away from Borgens, so suspended the dividend again. Boom times ahead though. Right. So once I get a bit more money, could potentially save ourselves... Yeah, no, I don't know. I was going to say refinance bonds at 5% maybe, but... if you had 10 million in bonds at 5%, you'd be paying 500,000 in interest, as opposed to what we're paying now. So you'd be saving yourself about 100,000 in interest, so I don't know if that's worth it actually. Next stop. Okay, I can get away the wooden bridge there. I don't need this big old suspension bridge. Really? Can I... Oh, I can't get out of there. That is a weird looking track. So nothing sort of a bit more normal. Yeah, that's more normal. So once we got to Skagerstrand, that's where the challenge comes in, because how do you get to Sauderkrokje? We are hauling more loads this year, which is obviously good because we do have more trains. This port is upgraded, but it does the same thing every other port does, so... Right, there's clothes here. But they're not profitable to haul. If Borgians could get more livestock, then it would make a fortune hauling livestock around. Could even go to Blondjos, potentially. I don't know what we'd haul. Wait, which one's... Oh, Blondjos is that one, actually, so... that's kind of annoying. I kind of wanted to go to Bordieri, which is actually an option. That would actually make a fair bit of money. Rather than going all the way to... The only problem with that is I will need another maintenance and service. So let's actually build the maintenance and service here. And then go Skagerstrand to Bordieri. I think they suspended our dividend. Stock's just split. Okay, so we've got a fair amount of cash. Yeah, they did suspend the dividend. Right, let's get a Deltic from Skagerstrand to Bordieri and hope it makes cash. It should do. And not that much, actually. That's disappointing, because I thought there was a lot more to haul. Disappointing. How am I going to get through here with... I don't really want a tunnel, but at the same time I don't want, like, stupid hills. Now, it's actually not too bad. If you know where to go. I say if you know where to go, and then I don't know where to go. Bit of a hill there, but the rest of it seems like it's going to actually be okay. Although this bit looks a bit nasty. But we basically made it, so... And they suspended the dividend. Fan-diddly-tastic. We are in economic boom, which obviously helps, because we've reached 6 million... thing. I'm a bit surprised that's still negative, though. Maybe the dividends just aren't being paid. Because I think they get paid at the end of the year, so maybe if we just don't have enough in cash to pay the dividend, then I don't know. Alright, we run out of money, but we have made it to Sauderkrokje. but we're going to need a big station there. Could take out a bond, I don't necessarily want to. Right. Let's just have a look. Oil. Framstang has oil. And a lot of it, actually. Clothes. There's clothes in Bordieri. Where is Porlakshofen? Is that? Oh, that's down here. So, Framstang, Bordieri. Again, Bordieri looks promising. Or Framstang. I think Framstang, actually. So, Framstang, Saudia, Krokir. We're going to need a train on that. Do have a maintenance and a service, but I don't know if we're going to need another one. These are things that we can do when we know how the train is running. Okay, that's actually not a lot. Maybe it's more possible if we started in Framstang itself. Next stop. Oh, great. It just gets harder and harder. On the plus side, once we actually do get to here, I do want to avoid the yokels. Okay, so once we get to Husavik, then it actually becomes a bit easier. Because then we... well, maybe a bit. Easier is in quotation marks, because it's not really easy. But it seems to be fairly flat around here. The main thing is obviously just don't build in the centre of the island, because there's nothing there, and you face the wrath, potentially, of the yokels. We might be able to build along the coast to Siglufjordur, but then obviously, is there actually anything there, and is it worth it? I mean, Olafsfjordur is going to be really hard to get to. Dalvik is really hard to get to, and there's just nothing there, so we kind of just want to get to Akureyri as quickly and as easily as possible, because, as I've said, Siglufjordur and Olafsfjordur, there's not really, and Dalvik, there's not really anything there. But Akureyri, there is stuff there. Reykjalid, there's some stuff there, and then Husavik, there is stuff there as well. So let's put the dividend back up. I think maybe save some cash and have a think. Okay, the thanks to the boom, our net worth is massively increasing. If we look at haulage, we're hauling about 300 loads a year. Still got 16 years to do 13,000 loads. That's like 850 loads per year. So obviously the railway is not sufficient as it is, and we need to haul more. But that's kind of a given. Is there any kind of really sort of... there's no real mountain pass through here. So the easiest way might be the long way round and sort of go round here. So how much is all that going to be? Obviously more than the money that we have. I'm just seeing about the logistics and whether or not it's physically possible to do so. And we do avoid the yokels. I think I've been told that, or I read that Eyjafjallajökull, the volcano, that erupted that I mentioned in like the previous part, I think that is around here, near Mjördalsjökull. Again, probably completely mispronouncing that, but that's sort of the theme of these videos. Not just Iceland, I mean, go check out my Russia one as well. Like, apparently I did okay at pronouncing Russian towns, but maybe it was more instinctive. Maybe I'm just better at pronouncing Russian town names than average Joe, but yeah. So this does seem doable once we get enough money. I'm actually going to put it on very fast mode. Just allow money to build up. So this is a very long route, but it is actually fairly flat. Okay, we've run out of money. Put on very slow again now that some money's come in. Right, I think this is where we want to go. Don't know how I'm going to get down there. Eesh. Okay, that's not good. Right, I was just waiting for money to come in and it just didn't seem like it wanted to come in. So there's a very sort of strange mountain valley through here. We have literally 0,000 money. Huh. I mean, I could have potentially built through here, but then we would have probably needed a tunnel at some point. Actually, I'm looking here, and there's actually a mountain pass through here that could have potentially worked. I'm wondering if that would have actually been better, because it's more sort of direct. Huh, why did I not see that? That's actually a lot better, I think. How much can I undo? Okay, where was it? It was here. Yeah, okay. Back and then back again. So, build sort of like here. I don't know where you could potentially build around there, but I'm just thinking, is this better? This would not be doable without the grid. I would not have seen this this route at all. Okay, the finale, if you want to call it, is that's actually okay. So we are going to need some kind of potential bend. Or we just come around here. And then we are pretty much done. Hard bit now is actually just building through the city. Or town, or whatever you want to call it. I did actually look up, just out of pure curiosity today, earlier. Oh, go away. I looked up Kirkeby Klauster, and basically the locals call it, I think they just call it Klauster, but it means something like church, farm, cloister. So basically there's a church and there's a load of farmland. The whole population of this town is about 500. So Railroad Tycoon greatly exaggerates the economy of Iceland in that regard. Or rather the map maker did. Because in reality, like in Railroad Tycoon, then it would be like a few farms and like 3 houses or something. If we're talking about Railroad Tycoon city sizes. Right, that is a bit nasty, but the just thinking actually, if we had gone with my original route, it would have been a lot easier to get to Reykjavik. So this is I also don't know if this is actually quicker or not than going all the way around there. I think it is. I'm just trying to imagine like a triangle. We've gone the more direct route diagonally there, rather than having to go all the way around there. So yes, it's quicker. Think Pythagoras, obviously. But I don't know how we're going to get out. Might have to tunnel through. And then connect to Reykjavik and Husavik. That's a problem for a later date. So I'm going to accept that route. Don't have enough for a... now this is interesting. Akureyri has a warehouse that supplies cars and paper. And obviously it's very cheap. It also turns alcohol into produce, which is a bit daft. Demands toys. Which are made from plastic at Reykjavik. Where's it getting the plastic from? This plastic factory, which is getting oil from this port. So Husavik, Reykjavik, etc. Going to be worthwhile. These cars, however, we can ship these to, well, pretty much anywhere is going to be profitable. Cheese is massively profitable. Paper's massively profitable. Clothes is massively profitable. Nobody wants to go to here. Saudi Arabia, maybe. But yeah. Wow. Okay, so Akureyri, Saudi Arabia. We're going to need maintenance and service, of course. Build that about halfway. I've actually just increased the gradient of that hill. Damn it! Ah! This is always a problem with building maintenance and service on hills. God fucking damn it. Oh well. Right. I mean, the Deltic is actually pretty shitty on hills. This is why I kind of need electric. How much is it to electrify all this track? $3 million! Yeah, we're not going to do that. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, it's annoying, and it's a pretty bad gradient there. It's just annoying. But look at all that money from hauling all those automobiles and cheese. That textile mill is actually not making money now. There's a dairy processor. That's odd. So there was a bit of cheese, but it's annoying that you can't buy warehouses. Can you imagine just buying this warehouse and some of the ports in this game as well? That is slowly decreasing. Net worth seems to be increasing slowly as well, which is good. Could take out some bonds at 5%. Company definitely seems a lot more profitable now we're going north. Because I just don't think that... Kurfen is actually worth connecting to, because there's nothing there really. There's not even farms. Like it's just like a few houses. I think there might have been an industry. There's a brewery that's failing. There's a port that is actually profitable, but it's just doing the same thing that every other port does. Dupervoga is not really worthwhile, but then there is weapons and ammunition which will be profitable to haul to places. Right, let's put the dividend back up while we can, while it lets us. Stock split 2 for 1, very nice. Wow, net worth is almost 10 million now. So we've used half our time. What actually might let us down, annoyingly, is the haulage. The net worth might get to 25 million for the gold, but we need 15,000 loads. And obviously we still need to get to Dupervoga. Okay. Sauderkrode to Framstang, we're going to need more maintenance and service. Where is Sauderkrode? There it is. So let's actually build a service tower over there. And let's just build another one, like, here. Again, I increase the gradient. God fucking damn it! Ah! Right. How much is a tunnel? 1.4 million, but then I don't like the gradient there. Yeah, I didn't like the gradient on the way into the tunnel. That's okay. It's bloody expensive. I mean, the alternative, of course, is that we go like the super duper long way round, which is basically what we had before to actually get to Akureyri. I mean, I do like that track, I just don't know if it was the best idea. Because we could have actually gone the long way around to Akureyri and then just carry on like that. I'm just looking, and there's no real easy way out of here. Because there's all along here is just mountains. Can't really go along the coast, so we either tunnel through, or we build a shitload of track. Similar to what we had before. I'm leaning towards just tunneling through. And then getting to Husavik that way. So let's just take out 1 million in bonds. Increase the dividend temporarily while we can. It's not an easy task, this. That's very cheap, and it's very flat, but at the same time you do get a massive hill going into the tunnel. Can we not sort of bend it more gradually and go... I mean, a tunnel just all the way through would be like 3.6 million and you would still get a big gradient. I mean, it's only temporary, the hill, but... And then we just come round like here. And then we get to Reykjalid. Also, what the fuck is up with that bridge? It's like half a bridge. You get the steep slope up towards the bridge and then just like nothing. That's better. Still quite hilly around here, which I don't really like. Right. Almost. There we go. So we made it to Reykjalid. I don't know exactly how we're going to get to Husavik. Probably something along the lines of around there. Rather than building up towards there, maybe? I don't know. I don't know actually as well, do we want to connect to Husavik? Or do we want to connect to Reykjavik more? So let's just get rid of all this track. Let's just look. There's more cargo flying around Husavik. Husavik has a plastics factory which is unprofitable. Dairy farm. It demands weapons and ammo. There's no real supply around here anywhere. Supplies cattle, oil, turns cheese into thing. So I mean, Akureyri is really good though. I don't know. Those cars and like the cheese and everything, it's just a massive price differential, which annoyingly will probably eventually flatten out, but I'm hoping it doesn't. For obvious reasons. Okay, we can actually sort of build along this river coast here, whatever you want to call it. I do need a bit more money, and also we can't take out any more bonds. Okay, these actually really both need maintenance. Good thing I built that then, isn't it? But from Stein to South Corridor. Okay. They've suspended the dividend. Well, they've reduced it rather. It seems like having a third of the company is a good idea, because it means that the net worth increases, you get a lot of dividend, but the purchasing power is still high. I'm wondering, though, if I want to increase it. I know we're in a boom, but the purchasing power is so high, I'm just wondering if it'd be worth buying some shares. How much is 10%? 57,600 shares. Well, then how much is a half? 288,000. So I mean, if I bought 25,000 shares, yeah, it's expensive, it's risky, but I think we're going to be okay. Now, the Class 132 is cheap to buy, cheap to maintain. Passengers hate it, but it's fast and it's good on hills. It's actually got decent stats. Very reliable. Yeah, all round actually quite good. Good little cheap diesel freight train. Definitely a freight train, like, because passengers find it ugly, so... Right, so we made it to Husavik, almost. Obviously going to need a large station in Husavik. Can't quite get away with it, though, because of the damn terrain. We are building into a hill as well, which isn't ideal. Though I might be able to flatten it out. Really? Okay, I can build a station there, but it doesn't actually, like... I kind of want to build it more like here, but it's not letting me. That works. But obviously we don't have enough money and we need better track. Actually, that works. Right, so we want to go Akureyri to Husavik. Do need more money. Whoa, what is that hauling from Akureyri? Paper. Suspended the dividend. Damn it. Economic boom fading. So they'll start to go down annoyingly. But the purchasing power is really high. 17. Yeah, I don't know what that is as a percentage of the company. It's nearly 40%, but not quite 40%. So get a class 132. I'm assuming that Akureyri has stuff. It does. So Akureyri to Husavik. Lovely jubbly. Right, I'm going to save the game and create a new video part. So it'll be end of part 2, beginning of part 3. Save the game. Okay,